Hi, my name is Fue and I'm a late bloomer. Hi, Fue. So, where did it all begin? What is the point of what I'm doing right now? Why do I call myself a late bloomer? Okay, let me tell you the story. Let's cue the music. So, um, when I had my son 7 years ago, so I had a high risk pregnancy, so I was in and out of hospital. And after I had my son, he was premature. I had my son, and then a couple of weeks later, my dad passes away. So I was not okay in my headspace. And in my not okayness, that a veil lifted, and I realized that, oh my God, I'm living a lie. Like, this is not the life I wanted for myself. I think losing my father made me lose that veil because he was kind of my man, like he was my dude, he was my guy. So I didn't really have to worry about life in general because I had my dad, I had my mom, so life was great. And in coming to that realization, those 7 years back, I started my very long journey because that was 2017, 2018. Started the journey for me to be here in front of this camera talking to you. It's taken me a very long time. And in fact, it wasn't really 7 years. It's actually taken me my whole life to do what I want to do. I've always felt the thing I was called to do, what my heart always leaned toward. I always felt like, why would anyone be called to do that? And yes, I would hear people say that they're called to it, but I'd be like, it's not like a real thing. But here I am today. And the reason why I couldn't do it was obviously because I cared what people would think. I was afraid of being uncomfortable because I was very uncomfortable, when you put yourself in front of people, it's normal discomfort. And I didn't want to go through that. So I always played it safe. I always played it in a way that I knew I was in control. You know what I mean? Not where other people's opinions would be in control. So when I had my son, one of the, I call it a blessing, but when I was going through it, it was really, really hard. I cannot even tell you how difficult it was. So when my dad died, I then kind of lost my mind, because I think I was just overwhelmed. I mean, I just had a very risky pregnancy, and now all of my anchor, my life anchor, is gone. So I think I lost the plot. So even while I was in hospital, they did have to tranquilize me after I had my son because I couldn't even sleep. I was scared to sleep. So they had to tranquilize me. So my mind was extremely fragile at the time. And then it finally just broke. So my psychologist called it an emotional breakdown. And then one of my spiritual teachers, she called it a womb awakening. And yeah, there are things that happened in between where I can believe both. So, um, so I had a mental breakdown, what I'll call it a mental breakdown. And I lost my ability to, it was so bad, I forgot how to even do my job. Like, I was a very stellar performer at work. Like, I was one of those people, I worked hard, but after this, I couldn't even work and everyone, I shocked myself, let alone everyone else being shocked. I shocked myself because I wouldn't, like for example, I would write something and I would time it for 30 seconds. In my head, when I look at it, it's 30 seconds. When we record, it's 1 minute. Do you know how much copy from 30 seconds to 1 minute? And I couldn't see that. And I've been doing it for so long, it's just something you can see. It's easy to see that, oh no, the script looks long or it's too short or whatever. I'd forgotten all of that. So those things that were automatic to me that I didn't need to think about, all of a sudden I had to think about them. And one of the other things that happened to me is that I couldn't absorb information. So any new information, I couldn't absorb it. It would just bounce right off. So it was taking me extremely long to learn new things. So I think after 2 years of working, because I went back to work after 2 or 3 years, I had to stop because I could not work. So I spent the next 4 years, I think it's 4 years now. Yeah, 3 years, 4 years, kind of trying to get myself in order. I isolated myself, and well, it wasn't on purpose. I just isolated, because I was overwhelmed by what was happening in my head. I didn't understand anything. Now, during that time, though, when I was in the beginning phases of this whole thing, it was in the beginning, like the first 3 months were like, I can't remember what I saw and thought, but I remember how I felt, and it felt dark. It was because I knew that I couldn't move left, I couldn't move right, I couldn't even see what was in front of me. And during that time, there was a booklet that my mom gave me. So I grew up in a Christian home, and we are my mom read a lot of theosophy. So I grew up in that world of metaphysics and all that. And she gave me this book by a preacher called Charles Capp, and it's these books, and he calls them Charles Capsules. And what he does is that if you have a sick body, you read, and you read it like the way you'll take a pill every day. You read it like that in the morning, in the afternoon, at night, and you read it over. So I would dedicate 20 minutes and read it over and over and over, whatever sections I wanted to read, and I would read them over and over and over. And it was the only thing I had control over, was to do that. And I did it. And I did it religiously. I didn't stop because I was so afraid because of the things I was seeing. I was so afraid. Then after 2 weeks, I started to notice a change. My blood pressure dropped drastically. Like I went off. Other people don't go off their blood pressure meds after having a baby. I went off, like within a month, I was off them. And then I would talk to my body, and I learned the trick on how to talk to my body and make it calm down. And I talk to my body, I don't want to say a lot, but I talk to my body. No, and I know someone is going to say, why don't you talk to your body to lose weight? That's my mountain. That's my biggest mountain. I'll deal with it when I'm ready. So that little booklet is where I decided that I want to start my videos, because when I left, there's a job. I went back to work last year, and when I went back to work, guess what? Where I left in my previous job, the same shit happened in this job, and a lot of things transpired, and in the process of those things transpiring, a coach was brought into the business, to kind of mediate the whole situation. And in the mediation, so there were sessions where it was just me without my manager. And in those sessions, on the last session I had with this lady, I said to her, because of these sessions, I've have clarity like I've never seen it before. I'm not supposed to be here. And I said to her, I know I initiated this whole thing. It's me who laid the complaint. But I'm the one who's going to step out, because I'm actually not supposed to be here. So, with that job, when I was leaving that job, I know I'm a little bit all over the place. Bear with me, because I have to get this video done, come hell or high water, because I am dealing with a self-sabotaging nature. So I have to do it. So it doesn't need to be perfect. It just is what it is. So when I left that job, I had all that clarity, and I said, okay, but what am I going to do for money? Because I live in the world. And then this reminder came to me where it was like, but because I have this line that I like, and it was like, why have you forgotten that thing? Because I always say to my friends, my money doesn't come from people. My money comes from God. So God is my infinite supply. And I always say, and God, if God uses me as a vessel to give someone money, then so be it. But if I need that money back, I'm not going to expect it from that person. I'm going to expect it from God. That's how I live my life. So God was like, so why don't you? It was like my spirit was like, so say that about your money. And I'm like, okay. So then I'm like, God is my infinite supply. I have a divine supply that is mine, and it will always find its way to me, whether I work for it, whether I don't work for it, in the way the world wants me to work for it. My supply will come to me because it is divinely mine. It is purposed for me. So I was like, okay, I'll start speaking those things. So as I was going through that process is when I was like, if it wasn't for that booklet that my mom gave me, I would not have these tools in my hand now that I use when things are really, when the things of the world are not matching mine. I always have words that I use to remind myself of who I am and where I stand. So I then decided to create a little booklet. And no, it's not for sale. So I decided to create a little booklet that resonates with me more. And it's very similar to that Charles Cap, but it is also influenced by Florence Scovel Shinn. She's my favorite New Age teacher, as I like to call them, New Age. She's a brilliant teacher. Her never got out for me or where I stay, because for one reason is that when it comes to limiting beliefs, they really work outside of limiting beliefs, because I also believe this. I know that, money and all that is an exchange. Everything is an exchange, but the exchange doesn't have to work the way we've been taught it works. And I've seen that every day. My life is like so many things are like, my life is like a miracle after miracle. A lot of people get confused, like, how did you do that for you? And I'm like, it's because I'm lucky. I always say I'm lucky, but it's because I've got these tools that I use that I use. So Scovel Shinn has really been pivotal in how I use affirmations and my words and how I use my own words. So what I did is I created this little booklet. It's got Scovel Shinn, Goddard, and the Bible. I love the Bible. It's like, for me, when it comes to this kind of work, in terms of having words, for me the Bible is where I go. For a lot of it. It's not the only place, but for a lot of it. So I've created this booklet, and that's the first thing I'm going to share with you is this little booklet. And as I go through this, I'm also not at the end of the journey. I haven't yet, sometimes I see these other people and they're flourishing and they come to you like, oh, I've bought my 6 million rand house. And it's like, no, I'm not there yet. I'm still, I've just quit a job because I finally saw it clear as day. Like, this is how I'm supposed to, this is where I'm supposed to be. So, excuse me. So this booklet also came as a nudge that write your own little booklet and share it and tell people about how these words helped me. And that's where I started with my journey with words and understanding. I hear a lot of people saying affirmations don't work for me. Affirmations work. Affirmations work. But I've got my own way of using affirmations because and I've seen, and it evolved from first using it like I am a millionaire. No, that's not it. What I want to feel is abundant, so I feel abundant. I see myself abundant, and I see myself, and then a picture will come up in my head of what abundance looks like, and I'll be like, oh yeah, that's it. So I've learned how to make it work for myself. And so I just want to share how I go about it, and I want us to do it together, to be honest. Like, I don't think I know everything. I don't think there's no way I know everything. I mean, I'm on YouTube all the time looking for help in terms of when one teacher doesn't work for me, who else could maybe describe it in a way that works for me? So I'm here to also do that, and I want us to do it together. Like, I don't think we should leave each other behind. So that's why I'm here. I've left the job. I'm not saying leave your job, please. Don't do things that you are not ready to do, that your spirit has not told you to do. And when I say your spirit, I don't mean your anger. I don't mean your frustration. I mean it is when it is clear and it is peaceful, then you will know what is moving you, and you need to be ready. I have started over many, many times. Let me tell you now, many, many times where I feel like I'm following my spirit, Ganti. I'm following my emotions. I'm following how I'm feeling. So it's taken me quite a while to get to this point where like I realized, oh, this is the difference this time around. I had clarity. It was very, very clear, and it was peaceful. It wasn't pushy. It was just gentle, and it was clear. Like, where now, even when jobs come, I don't even look at what I've been doing my whole career, because it no longer has a place in my life. That's how clear it is. So, here I am. I'm starting again, and again and again and again. And so this booklet that I've written, I want to share it. Sharing it because it's where I started my healing. It's just learning to trust in the words that I read, and reading them every day, 3 times a day, and seeing them work for me. So I thought, let me share it with you. And then obviously going forward, I will be sharing more stuff. I've written a whole lot of stuff, and yes, I am getting assistance from ChatGPT, but I have written a lot of things, with my thoughts. ChatGPT is a great editor. I enjoy how it edits my work, so yay to that. So it allows me to write. My mind, I get impatient, so at least it's working as quickly as I think. It's not impatience, it's just how my mind works. For me, like, as soon as one idea is there, as soon as I say it out loud, my mind is on to the next, and it's just moving, and it keeps on moving. So I don't sit still very easily in my mind. So I hope this book does what it did for me, for you. And then I hope you join me on this journey. Like, let's do it together. And you can comment as well, like, if you want, so that, maybe you have tips or whatever it is, or a topic you want us to discuss, that I will go and research and come back and, we unpack it together. I don't want to do this by myself. I think we can, let's do this. We all want to get to a place of complete peace, where we are content, where we are happy. And sometimes we think R1 million will do that. No, like right now, I don't have R1 million, but I am very at peace. I don't even have 1,000 rand right now, but I'm very much at peace. I'm content, because I know that I'm in my lane, and it feels good. I feel amazing. I feel fulfilled. You know what I mean? And yes, it's risky, but I'm not afraid this time. That's why I'm saying the peace that comes with the clarity is very important when you make this kind of move. So I know how it is with work. You get frustrated. Make sure that you are clear. There's nothing wrong with the decision. I came across this other Kabbalah teacher, and he was talking about how he lost $1 million. And he says, in the moment when they lost that money, and it was his accountant's fault. I was watching it on School of whatever Lewis. And this guy was saying, he said the way he didn't want to react in that moment, but the decision he wanted to make in that moment that he found out is the same decision he made even after the week, after 2 days or 3 days. He says it's the same decision. The only difference is that he was in a different state of mind. And that's what's important, is the state of mind that you do things. That's why for me, this time, if it was old Fue, I would have been pissed off and I would have just walked out of that job. But this time I was like, just stay the course and see what it is that needs to happen. And what God gifted me there was that there was a coach who gave me clarity. Like I saw clearly, and she wasn't trying to get me there. She was trying to solve the conflict, but in whatever she did, I realized I'm not supposed to be here. And I knew that I wasn't supposed to be there. I knew I'd been speaking it, that, oh my God, I'm not a copywriter anymore. I'm not supposed to be here. So when that clarity came, where it was like, okay, actually you can move now, because I won't move with fear. I don't move. Everything I do, I'm not afraid anymore, because I said, God, you gave me this clarity. So I have this clarity, because so I'm surrendering myself so that I can walk in my path. So yeah. So next time I want to talk about why I felt I needed to do this video raw. Otherwise I wasn't going to get it out. And it's going to be, yeah, let's talk about it next time. Okay, I'll probably do it now that I've done this one. I need to recuperate and kind of get over myself. So give me some time and get over myself, because whoa, I'm overwhelmed. I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing? But here we are. Thank you so much for your time. And I hope we can keep going together. Okay, bye.